There we go. So we're at Greystone Stables with Megan Rogers and company, like there is always a dog.
Yep, there's always a dog with
Odin.
Odin.
Um, and I'll let Megan kind of introduce herself and explain what she does here. And we're in Altamont, New York.
Okay. Hi, I'm Megan Rogers and welcome to Greystone Stables. I have owned this property since 2014. We own a hunter jumper facility, boarding, training, lessons. I coach the RPI equestrian team as well. And we cater to mainly adult clients, but we have a really good group of junior riders at this time. And we have a mix of all sorts of horses, thoroughbreds, ponies, draft breeds, warm bloods, and everything in between. We compete on local hunter jumper circuit and just enjoy the property. We have 60 acres here, so we ride off the property as well. So we'll take a walk and I'll show you around the facility and tell you a little bit more about what we do.
Hey.
So the farm boasts 60 acres, like I said, and an outdoor arena, 2 larger barns, 1 smaller barn, a jump field way out in the back where you're looking past the tree line, and a good sized coverall indoor arena. So, you know, a little bit about myself, I grew up in New Jersey and went to Ithaca College, where I rode on the intercollegiate team, and then went on to my master's in education, which then turned me into that field for a little while. And then I actually got an email from a friend of mine for an opening at SUNY Cobleskill that brought me to the equestrian center there. And from there I developed my passion further for teaching and running a boarding and training facility. This is Flea. He's one of my main lesson horses. He's the official breeder every day. He's a jumper in his past, and now he's retired. He's 24 and does walk track canter lessons, and he has a good solid dressage background, so he's one of the big staples in my lesson program. So this is the main barn. It houses 18 stalls, varying in sizes, 10 by 10s to 12 by 12s. It's an older barn, but it's built into the bank and provides nice ventilation, big windows, and it is feeding time, so you're going to hear a lot of noise in a minute. So that's Rachel, one of my assistant barn managers. You're being videoed. She is a graduate of SUNY Morrisville, actually. She's been with me for about 4 years now. Most of the horses in this barn are boarders, with a few of my lesson horses in the first aisleway.
It's very hungry.
Very hungry, extremely hungry horses. So we keep a pretty decent schedule. They're on night turnout right now.
There's the blankets.
Blankets,
Just show them.
yep. So we have a blanket aisleway. It goes into another tack room. We have 3 tack rooms in this barn. It provides us to be able to hang up blankets to dry and things like that during the winter time.
Odin, I have you peeing on video.
Lots of Odin. This is our indoor arena, 72 by 170. It's nice size, definitely nice and bright in the daytime. We just added in more LED lighting 2 winters ago to make it a little brighter. We just had a bad storm come through 2 nights ago, so that's why it's a little...
Right, it's quite the storm, yeah.
Quite the storm that came through. It's a nice size. Makes for interesting winter riding. It's a little loud, but keeps the horses calm.
But kind of cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter.
Yeah, it's definitely some hot winter days, or summer days. It is a little hot in here, but you open up the doors and there's nice airflow. But it's nice and bright. Horses do well in it. There's not much shadowing. So.
Yeah. And basic sand footing.
Yeah, basic sand footing. I've been doing a lot of research recently about trying to do an additive, but it's hard to find the right situation, you know, for that. But the maintenance of the footing is probably one of the hardest parts about the rings.
Right.
You know, making sure that you have enough and that you know, it doesn't get too dry too fast, and you know, without going into the synthetic lines, it's a little bit challenging to
Right.
find the right combination, but lots of maintenance goes into it, especially in the wintertime. We don't use it much this time of year, so.
A beautiful outside ring and a lot of, you said there's a jump field beyond the trees.
Yes,
so-
yeah, there's a hay field and then there's a jump field behind that we just put up a couple of years ago, that we've been utilizing quite a bit this year because it's been so nice out.
Uh-huh.
So we have a lot of pasture space. We rehab paddocks. We try to do one a year to help them grow and keep them appropriate for the different types of horses we have, because we have some horses that really need to be on grass and some horses that shouldn't be on grass.
Yeah.
We do own our own, or we do all of our own hay as well.
Uh-huh.
So it's lots of farm equipment. We can take a walk down to the newer barn. This was built in 2017. And my husband's newest project is that nice solar panel on top.
Yeah.
That, you know, he did a lot of research and calculations, and that got installed in November of this past year. So, and just so you kind of see the change there is that January of 2019 we used 2,500 kilowatts of power on this meter that services just this barn. The electric that runs the fencing down here and the hot water heaters in the troughs in the wintertime. And this past January we used only 69 watts.
Uh-huh.
So it went from 2,500 down to 69 in January because of the solar panel.
Right.
So that was a pretty decent return, sort of in the worst of the
right.
sun months. So,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just sort of coming up with ways that, you know, it's an expense to add, but then over time it takes some expense away, and that way we can run the farm appropriately, and because there's nothing worse than chopping ice in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
Multiple times a day.
Yeah.
So,
And, well, that's a huge space. I mean, for panels. I mean,
right,
you've got
it's
this.
a huge space, and it's south-facing, which is what you want.
Yeah.
And you know, there's no, I mean, it just gets sun almost all day long. Like you can even see now, it's past 3 o'clock, and it's still getting the sun. So
Yeah.
it was the right space to do it.
Yeah.
So we built this barn in 2017 with the need of just the influx of boarders and more lesson students, and coaching the RPI team. I had a few students that were interested in bringing horses up, so we sort of made the decision that we needed more storage and we needed more space. So we put 6 stalls into this barn, and then it's just a big empty storage shell in the back that we use for hay and or equipment. We have an overgrown sunflower thing right now, and because of the rain the other day we had some barricades with the hay bale, so I apologize for a little bit of the overgrown sunflower crop that happened this year. So it's just a basic 6-stall barn, 10 by 12, you know, electricity, lights, nothing super fancy, but it works. It's warm in the winter, it's cool in the summer. We have a loft up above that holds about 1,500 bales. And we have a feed room and tack room for the boarders. Feed rooms, trunks, basic.
Yeah, that came out very nice.
It says heat. Doesn't have air conditioning, but for some reason it stays very cool.
Yeah. The concrete floor helps probably.
Concrete floor helps. This is just storage. So,
Yep.
hay
Interesting.
storage. We normally fill this entire space with hay. So we produce about 6,500 bales of hay a year. and then obviously more equipment out back. So.
Yeah, and that's a big plus. Now, you're saying you share with a neighbor. You do some things for him. He does some
Yes.
things for you.
So, yep, that's so our neighbor down the road, Rick, has cows, and he has a big tractor that runs the baler and the cutter and everything like that, and he round bales, and he uses our cutter and our tedder and our rake we use his big tractor, and we do a financial exchange, but it's also just to help him out. To pay for the lease of his tractor through the summer, and then he also just helps us out. He's a great guy, so it's really good to kind of be involved with your neighbors and get. It's a huge help, you know.
And then you were able to find one of the keys, if I remember right, is you found an older gentleman from New Jersey to be a working student.
Yes.
He's like an apprentice.
Yes, he is an apprentice. So it's a big family-run business. My father is invaluable in running this facility. You know, he said he's the laborer. He's always like, I'm the labor guy, and so he mows and he runs the equipment for hay, and you know, he comes up with little project ideas and making the farm just look a little nicer, a little neater, you know, and uses his expertise is not in farming, but he has a good mind for projects and visions, and you know, my parents are both just an invaluable asset to this property, and I wouldn't be able to do that without them. So they're actually adding on an addition to my house. They're living with me currently, helping out with the farm and my kids. You know, my husband pitches in. He has a full-time job, but he pitches in where he can. He's been working from home with everything. Yes, we have our resident swallow bird. They
Yeah, all
don't
the
keep
babies.
the bugs down. I know that they make a mess, so when they fly off, we try to clean up. But they're welcome. They keep the bugs down, and you know, it keeps the cats interested.
That's right. Keeps the cats a little skinnier.
Right. Yes.